I love me and I'm hot. I love me and I'm hot. Hi, gorgeous. Today we're talking about how to fall more deeply in love with you, with yourself, because you are the main character. Do you know when you watch TV, you can only see what the camera can capture within its view? That same way is how your eyes see the world. You can only see the world through your point of view. And it's not about anybody else but you. Falling more deeply in love with yourself is all about your connection to yourself. You're accepting the role as the main character because it's the only real role that you have been given. It's a fact. The fact that you were born means that you're the main character. You can only see the world through your eyes. So I'm going to give you some ways to accept that because it's all about accepting that. First of all, conjuring up this type of love in yourself requires that you have some more energy. In order to get more energy, you got to use some. So you have to increase your capacity to live, which requires more energy and more motion. A lot of this has to do with health. So I'm going to put in the description a video where I talk about gut health and brain health and the connection between the two, because utilizing your energy, having the will to live, and increasing the amount of output you can do or just energy that you put into things requires that you have a healthy mind. And you need something to live for. That something has to become you, has to become the pursuit of feeling genuinely good and happy in the life that you live, because no one else can give that to you but you. And also, when you don't feel the best, you're feeling down, which everybody has those days, you have to fall in love with that feeling. Because guess what? Hate to be gruesome, or is that gruesome? I don't know. Hate to be like morbid, but when you're dead, you can't feel those feelings anymore, or you don't know if you can. So even the feeling of sadness is a blessing. It's a gift to feel sad. So you gotta bask in it, like, yo, I'm feeling sad. If it's raining outside and you're feeling sad, go walk in the rain. Like, feel extra sad. Listen to sad music. You get to feel sad. That is amazing. There's people who don't even have feelings. There's psychopaths out here who don't really have feelings. So you are lucky in that way. And romanticizing every piece and part of your life like this, just putting intention into everything, into every word, into every feeling, as much as you can, because it does take an intentional effort and thought behind it, is going to give you more energy because you're using your energy intentionally, and this is going to help you become more of the main character and fall in love with yourself. If you can love yourself through every state, if you can love yourself through every emotion, there's not going to be a moment where you feel like you don't. Because even in a moment where you're embarrassed, it's like you might have said the wrong thing, but it's there, and it's there in that moment, and you loved yourself in that moment. So how could you not still love that version of you who might have said something weird or done something weird? My awkward girlies, you get it. We can be weird and we can say weird things, but it's not up to us to determine what someone else thinks about what we say. It's also not up to us to care. We don't have to care what anybody else thinks. If we say something funny and people laugh, it might feel good, but we don't have to care that they laughed. It's what you wanted to say. It's what you wanted to do. So being more comfortable in every emotion by utilizing your energy and putting intention behind everything. Point number 2, we're going to build off of that. Jesus says something very interesting. He says something along the lines of, it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what goes out of a man that defiles him. So stop paying attention too much to the energy that you're receiving. It's what comes out of you that matters. It can either defile you or the opposite of defile. When you care too much about the energy that you're receiving, you're making the other person the main character. If you're in an interaction and you're worried about what this person thinks about me, how they feel about me, or whatever, versus what you're giving to them, if you're giving them love, if you're giving them kindness, or if you're giving them a piece of your mind, that's what you need to be focused on. You need to be focused on what's coming out of you and make sure that it's not defiling you. Because defiling yourself is not gonna feel good. It's not gonna feel good. Make sure that what you give is what you would like to receive. The other day, I went to this bubble tea shop because I was on a walk and I had a little craving for some bubble tea. And they had a cool thing where it was like a virgin mojito. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna put some boba in it. And I went to the register and I saw the virgin mojito and it was fizzing a little more than I would have liked, because I'm thinking that they use sparkling water and maybe some flavored syrup. But I asked, I said, what did you use to make the mojito? And she said, Sprite. We use Sprite. And I said, nah, I don't drink soda. So could I possibly order something else? And she was like, no, you can't. I already made the drink. And so I kind of paused because I realized that in this moment I had a choice on how I wanted to react, how I wanted to give to her, what the experience was that I was giving, right? Because that's what would defile me or would make me more of a righteous person, which righteous makes me feel good. Defiling myself does not make me feel good. So I paused. And this is something that's also very intentional. Pausing when you feel that bubbling anger inside, because I was angry. And I was like, I'm gonna let this kind of fizzle out. I don't want this anger inside of me. I'm gonna pause. And I told her, you could just give it to someone else. It's okay. Because I realized, I spent the money. She's not gonna make it. Like, I would rather someone else have this who's gonna really enjoy it, because I'm not taking it. And she was taken aback completely. I think she expected me to lash out. I don't know, but let me pause myself right there. It didn't matter what she expected from me. I'm not focused on the energy that someone else is giving me, right? Working in real time. So whatever she expected, I decided to kind of just let it go, say whatever. And she was like, actually, he can make you another one. What is it that you would want? And so the coworker that she had made me another bubble tea. I got a pineapple green tea with some boba. Really yummy, light ice and light sugar, because they didn't have a zero sugar option. But I don't think you can do zero sugar because of the syrup. Whatever. Little sugar never hurt nobody, especially on the walk when you're getting vitamin D. Anyways, you see my health brain just like, gotta make sure that my body's good. But I focused on the energy that I was giving. I made myself the main character. She was not about to become the main character in my story. I'm the main character. I get to decide what's written. Main characters don't really decide what's written. God is doing that. But I'm working with God to determine how I get to act in this moment. God told me what comes out of me can defile me. I'm not trying to be defiled. Therefore, I'm going to do what does not defile me and let things go. And I got my way in the end. So that's just one example of how you can become the main character, how you can not let things like shake you up and focus on the energy that you would want to receive. Like, genuinely give that. Jesus is so brilliant. Now, building off of point number 2, main characters have motion, okay? Main characters have motion. This is something that me and my friend was actually talking about a little bit. And motion includes other people. So in addition to treating people how you want to be treated, if you want people in your life to give you more motion, because you are the main character, you need characters in your story. And they help bring the motion to your story. They help the plot go this way or that way. And these characters are friends, family, coworkers, just everyday people, whoever. You need to start loving on other people, because this will make them want to actually be in your life. And then that will make life more fun and adventurous. Whoa, don't be afraid to give other people their flowers, because when you love yourself, it's actually easier to start loving on other people. You'll start to see what you love about them. Like, I love that this person is so emotionally in tune. Let me tell them that they're so emotionally in tune, and I love it. Because if you have a compliment that you are feeling, it doesn't always have to be said, but sometimes if you don't say it, if you feel the urge to say it and you don't, it can turn into some type of jealousy, especially if it's something that you don't have. So give it out and free up that energy from within you. If it inspires something in you to go and say like, wow, this person is this, and I really would love to tell them, give that out, give that love out to them. This will create more emotion. People make friends this way. And it's so fun running into main characters in the wild. I remember in college, there was one time when, and side note, you also have to accept your role as a side character in other people's lives, because they're gonna have to accept that too. So being a main character, you are the main character in your life. However, in other people's lives, you're not the main character. And that is okay. That's respectful, and that's honorable. It's noble to know that, and to know that you are your main character here in this sphere vision that you have, but also they are the main character there. And when y'all both, or 3, 4, 5, whoever is in the picture, can understand that they are all the main character, there is synergy. When I was in college, I was out at the club one time, and there was this young lady who gave my friends and I a compliment. And you know, when you're in the club and you're just a little drunk, and like a compliment just eats. And so I was like, thank you. And so we get to talking to her, and I could sense she is the main character. She had her own business. She flies out to different cities by her lonesome, solo traveling and meeting different people. She's the main character. In that moment, I sensed that. In that moment, it was easy for me to admire that and tell her, you're so brave, like that you're going out and doing all these things. You're amazing. You are this age and you have a business. You have to give that out. Give out that love, because when you see it, it is almost like a mirror of that main character energy that you see within yourself. And people need to hear that. They need to hear the compliment. Don't matter how much main character energy you have, how much you love yourself, hearing a compliment is always going to make you feel better. Now, on the note of feeling better, let's move on to point number 4, which is your self-care, or self-care, K-I-R, as I like to call it, because my name is Kira. By the way, my name is Kira. I am a food and wellness leader. Go ahead, like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and let's keep it going. So self-care is essential if you want to love yourself more. And the reason why I was very intentional with including the word more is because if you watch this type of content, you already love yourself, but there's always more love to give to yourself. There's always more and more love that you can receive. So you have to be on top of your self-care. On top of it, you have to have your practices that you are going to do no matter what, your routine that you carry with you across the world. If you're traveling, you have this down. This includes any type of course, skincare and hair care that you have. But not only that, it's the things that you do that help to regulate your emotions. So like stretching, journaling, reading your Bible, reading a book, spending the day with yourself, or spending the day with community, whatever it is that recharges you. Recently, I took a trip back home to New York City, where I'm from, and New York City is very stimulating, and I loved it. Okay, I loved being back home. But when I got back in the house from being outside, I said, we have to pour into Kira right now. We need some self-care right now, because the city will drain the life out of you. And that's why people become angry. That's why they become too quick paced. Like, you have to move quickly in New York, but also you can enjoy your time. Like, you don't have to move super quickly. Automatically you're gonna walk faster, because that's just the pace of people. But you can slow down. You can have your practices that you do. So guess what? When I got back home, I made myself some tea. And y'all, the way that I made this tea, I'm gonna do it by any means necessary. Malcolm X. I took a Corningware dish, filled it with water because I couldn't find a pot to heat water up. I filled the Corningware dish, and I'll include a picture of what a Corningware dish is. I filled that Corningware dish with water, and then I added in some Gotu Kola leaves, which I had just bought from an herbal shop earlier, another part of self-care, exploring a new herbal shop, which really warmed my heart. I love herbs. I love herbal remedies and holistic medicine. So I brought this herb home. I put it into that water. I covered the pot, and then I put that pot in the oven on 350 degrees. And guess what? The water started kind of simmering a little bit, and infusing the gotu kola herb into the water, creating a tea for me, because remember, I didn't have no pot. So I was like, yo, I need a pot to make this tea because I need to pour into myself right now. It's that deep. I'm really gonna use this Corningware dish. And so I got in the shower. By the time I was done, moisturized, your girl had some tea. I took the Corningware dish out. I had a little strainer and poured that into a mug. Boom, we got some tea by any means. All right, and I sipped on that tea, and I pulled out my yoga mat because I traveled with my yoga mat, and I did some stretching. And while I was there, I did different things on different days. So I made the tea a couple of times, stretched a couple of times, made sure that I was reading my Bible, journaled. And another thing that I do wherever I go is my face mask. Okay, face mask twice a week with honey. Didn't bring my honey because what happened was I ended up staying longer in New York than I expected. And so what I was expecting was to come back home on the day that I typically do this face mask, and I have all my stuff, so I didn't bring it. But I was still in New York on the day that I usually do my face mask, so I didn't have my stuff. So I went to the store, got some wild honey, and I made it work for myself. I did a mini facial is what I call it. Did my face mask, put the honey all over my face. Honey as a face mask, especially high quality, wild, raw honey, yo, it's gonna have your skin gorgeous. If you would like to know 3 skin sabotaging mistakes that are keeping you off camera, I will put the link to that free video in the description. Having these self-care practices will be one of the most fundamental things that are going to increase your love for yourself. Because as you're doing it, you're taking care of your vessel. Your vessel is what's carrying you through this life. Your vessel is where God lives. Get on your self-care practices. Have those things that you do. I also do oil pulling with coconut oil. So I'll take some oil with me if I don't have access to coconut oil where I'm going, right? These little things you gotta carry with you and make them work. Bring that journal. Bring your favorite pen. Go sit in a park and journal. Make plans with your friends. Like, you have to do these things to pour into yourself, because you are the only you you're ever gonna get, sweetheart. God made you precious. He made you a masterpiece. He made you art. So point number 5 is to create. It's to become an artist. Because when you create art, you are going to see a reflection of yourself in your work. And that's going to increase your love for yourself, because it's going to unlock a new level of knowing yourself, a new level of seeing yourself in a way that you haven't before, doing something that you might not have known you were capable of, or you might not have known that you were feeling. It's just going to bring something new into your life that's actually coming out of you. And art is just so beautiful. And this is not just painting. Art is a new number of things, okay? A plethora. You can do so many things. You can write poetry. You can paint. You can make a sculpture. You can write a short story, script, or film. You can make a video diary, crochet. Whatever it is that you feel drawn to, be the art that you are and create art from your experiences. When I got back home from New York, I felt so inspired. I felt so connected to a part of myself that I had thought that I had lost, and just a remembering of me and the basicness of who I am. Like, I'm a New Yorker, and I just felt inspired to start writing again. So I'm gonna eventually, when I finish the piece, put that on Substack. I can also put a link to my other blogs in the description so you can see the things that I have written in the past. And you are the main character. Like I mentioned, you were born, and you only can see through your eyes. Being the main character and loving yourself is simply accepting that fact. You have no other choice but to be the main character. Do you get that? Like, if you look out of your eyes. This is the only point of view you have. You can't look through somebody else's eyes. Even looking through a binocular or a camera lens, you are looking through your eyes. Through a telescope, you are looking through your eyes with assistance. This is the only POV you got. You are the main character. Just accept that. Accept it. Do all these things and keep growing in it and loving in it and feeling more powerful. I will see you in the next one. Stay golden.